Orlando Pirates beat TS Galaxy by 2 goals to 0, and we're going to look at how exactly they did this. And we'll start with this. What do you see on your screen right now? You see here that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pirates players centrally. And what you'll also see is that in addition to those two who are centrally, you'll have the 2 who are wide. So what this does is basically what Pirates have been trying to do since the beginning of the season, which is suck the opponent into the midfield, and if you can, then play the ball wide. So what you will see as we go through this video is that once the opponents have been sucked in, like look at all the TS Galaxy players, you have them pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So you've pulled in 6 players, and you've effectively just said now there are only 3 TS Galaxy players who are behind the ball. And since Orlando Pirates have very quick fullbacks, one here in Hoto and another one in Lebito, that's trouble. But on top of that, you also have this one right here, which is Usbelebele, who's very quick. You also have Umremi here, who's also very quick. So what you've effectively done is you've basically put TS Galaxy in a position whereby their defense is disorganized. As you can see, you have one who's deep, who's further back. You have one who was sucked in by Mahopa, but you have one who's now playing like a sweeper, and we know this is modern football. No one wants to play a sweeper because that means people will just target him to stay on side. So that's the problem that TS Galaxy found them in. And Pirates were then, since they have a lot of numbers centrally, as you saw here, this allows them to play the ball quickly in these short positions. And quick, you'll find them in these positions whereby Umremi is now racing forward and is taking a shot, and they almost concede. But lucky for them, in this case, the ball hits the post. You see this thing over and over again, once again. Now they are tilting the field. They are overloading one side, but also staying central. You see once again, you have Unduli here. You have Mfukeng who has dropped. It wasn't Mfukeng here. I can't see the player. I forgot who it was. But who has dropped here into this area. I think it was Muremi. Yes, it was Muremi. And then you have Unemateja, who's also here. And then you have Hoto holding his width. You have Mfukeng just there rotating with Umahopa. And you have Usbelebele, who's also tagged in. Now, once again, you have 6 Pirates players. And you can see that the defense of TS Galaxy are now sucked into all of these players, because what is happening now is right here, he's trying to stay tight to Mahopa that side. Sometimes it would be Hoto, sometimes it would be Mahopa. Doesn't really matter, but the positioning is still the same. You have a centre back also sticking into Mfukeng, and another left back now trying to stick to Sebelebele. Once again, now TS Galaxy find themselves in a situation where they have to defend the space behind. If Pirates find that one pass there, then they're in trouble. It's TS Galaxy. But in this case, they don't do that. Which brings us to the next thing, which is Mahopa was confusing the defenders a lot. Where is Mahopa? Here. Right there. That's evidence Mahopa. That's the striker of Orlando Pirates. He is not looking like a striker right now. In fact, he's looking like he's an 8. And because of this, now you have a defender right here who's not sure whether to step up, and now he has stepped up because he knows his mark is right there. So in him doing that, he's surrendering all of the space that is behind. And you have, as Orlando Pirates, a player like Moremi now fully in that area. You know what's going to happen. He's going to want to attack that space behind. Of course he will. So now if the ball is played, what do? They can now try and find the ball around, and they can play to Sebelebele, who's also wide. But they could also find that simple pass to Muremi, that side. So we see the same thing again here. Mahopa confusing the defenders. You see where he is in him creating space. The TS Galaxy defense is nice and secured. It's a nice back 5 in this case because they are dropping. But then if you look a few moments later, you see that Umahopa is now taking one of the midfielders, which is cishe ngathi uMbuthuma, but the TS Galaxy captain, he's taking him with him this time, and he takes him away, which now has created space in the middle, right in the middle of the defense. Now Sebelebele can either pass the ball, or in this case, he takes a shot, which goes wide of the post. Another way, again, that you will see is that Mahopa is the one who created that penalty for Pirates, because once again, he drifts wide, and in him drifting wide, he plays the ball, and then they foul Unemateja. Now, this is not a analyzing of referee's decision, so I'm not going to say whether there was a penalty or not, but I know the penalty was scored, and then the game moved along. So second half, they made some changes, Sebelebele and Mahopa coming off, and Mabasa and Apolis come on. And Apolis for Pirates has been a great super sub. Now, can you spot Apolis in this picture, in this video? Of course you can. Also, Apolis is right there. So you see that Pirates are keeping players close to each other, but in them doing that, you also see that they can quickly get the ball out, and now they have an advantage of having two players on one side. And there's something else I'm going to show you about fullbacks soon. So look at this attack, for example, by Pirates. You see, once again, you have that overcrowding in midfield. And the next thing that you have, if you count how many TS Galaxy players are pulled in to be crowded, there is 1, there is 2, there is 3, there is 4, there is 5, there is 6, there is 7, there is 8. Only 2 players, only 2 TS Galaxy players right there are behind the ball. Everyone else is now sucked in. And all it takes is for the fullbacks to stay wide and hold their width. And you see that there is now this ginormous space that is now wide and open that Hoto can now attack. Which now, if the ball is played to him, he's in, and then now he's finding himself in this good position, takes a shot, and then Ira makes a good save. Remember, by the way, that Umremi made the same shot in the first half. It's just that it hit the post. So once again, that plan by Pirates was still working. If you're enjoying the video, do make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we're about to look at another thing that has been bread and butter for you Pirates, and that is playing long balls. Like, it could be diagonal, it could be straight down the line, but they play long balls if they see that they're under pressure. It could be Mfukeng carrying the ball in an area like this. He's going to make a switch of the play, not make things complicated. You have Usipo China, what is he going to do? He's going to play a long ball. The key is suck them in, let them come to you, and then play the long ball. And we keep on seeing this thing the whole game, and Abo Mahopa would either go wide to assist in playing that ball, or the ball would be played to Hoto. And by the way, this was the last shot for Pirates around the 24th minute until the 54th minute, but that's not the point. Which leads us to the last thing, and it's the goal. The goal was scored from that long ball. China plays a long ball. Guess who's there? Hoto. All he has to do is just hit the ball to Mfukeng, and now there is space because the defense is being sucked in. So that means now Hoto can now go attack the space that is now open. Right there. There's that whole space, and when the ball is played to him, he's right there, he can now play across, and then Pirates score their winning goal. I did not talk about the defensive pattern, so maybe I should talk about how Pirates were trying to defend. And it's easy. From the get-go, what you will see is that Pirates were quite aggressive in their press. As you can see here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players pressing. And how many do Galaxy have playing the ball from the back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, this is smart by Pirates. You might think, oh, if they are man marking, why are they 6 and Galaxy 7? They are trying to maintain a +1 advantage. Now, this is a thing that coaches do, especially when they are attacking, which is what Galaxy is doing here. They are trying to have an extra man as they are trying to attack, right? But Pirates are having a +1 advantage in their own half. How does that help, having an extra man? It helps in situations like this, because now Galaxy have played in this situation have played out of the press of Orlando Pirates, but look at how many Pirates defenders are behind the ball. There's 4 of them, and there's only 2 TS Galaxy players. So because of this, you cannot hit Pirates, even if you play out of the press, because they're one-man short up front. But if you get behind them, they have 1 man extra. So then they choose to have a +1 advantage when they're attacking. So Galaxy ended up just playing passes that were frustrating me, to be honest. But some of it came because they were so much under pressure from Pirates. But what did you guys think? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and watch this video that YouTube thinks you might like. Bye bye, and I'll see you.